Hi, this is Justin from the Nerdy Loft channel, back with another Magic the Gathering Arena video. Today is Theros Beyond Death release day on Magic the Gathering Arena, so today I figured we would open up some Theros Beyond Death packs. It's the first time I'm actually seeing many of the cards. I've looked at some of the sort of spoiler pre-release content that a lot of other YouTubers and wizards have released so far for pre-release and the last couple of weeks in the lead up to the paper release for Theros Beyond Death. This weekend is pre-release for the paper set. The release date is next week on the 24th of January. So the Theros Beyond Death set has released a week early on Magic the Gathering Arena. Yeah, haven't had a chance to really look at a lot of the cards, so yeah, let's open up a few packs. I've got quite a few to get through, but that should give us a pretty good idea of what all the new cards are about. I thought it might be fun to, rather than just kind of look through the card sets on the Wizards website, we can open up some packs and do it in the old way that we used to open new card sets for Magic the Gathering by opening packs. So let's go do that and let's get stuck into some card openings. We can open packs of 10 at a time, but I'm just going to open a few as we go, so we can get a good look at the cards and see what they do. First pack. So the new Magic Arena update has given us this, first card in the set, little icon, which is really nice. We can see all the new stuff that we're getting. Makes it a little bit easier at this screen when we're opening packs, what's new in our collection. The first card is a 2-mana white-blue enchantment called Staggering Insight. It's an enchant creature. Enchant creature gets +1/+1 and has lifelink, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Acolyte of Affliction. It's a 4-mana 2/3. When Acolyte of Affliction enters the battlefield, put the top 2 cards of your library into your graveyard, then you may return a permanent card from your graveyard to you. Underworld Breach. Incendiary Oracle. Messian Hornbeetle. Okay. Pyrax Tower Scout. Love the artwork in this set. It's really nice. Sword. Plenty of artifacts, plenty of enchantments in this set. It's going to be really interesting to see how the meta plays out. Red is going to be very interesting. Kiora, Best the Sea God. Really like the addition of sagas in Magic over the last couple of years. Generally pretty fun and pretty interesting. Changes up the game quite a bit. History of Benalia, definitely my favorite saga out of the Dominaria set. This should be really interesting. It's a 7-mana mythic. We create an 8/8 blue Kraken creature token with hexproof. On chapter 1, that's pretty powerful on its own. You're playing this in the late game though at 7 mana, unless you can ramp quickly. It's a blue. It's a blue saga though, so like unless you're playing like some kind of Simic deck or some other way of ramping really quickly, yeah, that's gonna be interesting, but very powerful. Tap or non-land permanent target opponent controls. They don't untap during their controller's next untap step. Alright. Gain control of target permanent and opponent controls and untap it. So it's kind of like create a big 8/8 beastie Kraken. Prevent your opponent from doing anything until their next untap step. So let's just kill off their turn, at least from an attacking, blocking perspective. And then we'll just take one of their permanents. So it's not even take control of a creature. We can take control of any permanent they have. Chapter 3, a little bit like an Agent of Treachery, but more powerful even, because you can take any permanent, not just a creature. So, pretty crazy. It's just pretty expensive, so we'll see what happens with that. Karametra's Blessing, a 1 white mana instant speed spell. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. If it's an enchanted creature or enchantment creature, it also gains hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Omen of the Hunt. Pretty nice artwork. It's a 3 mana green enchantment. See too many enchantments with green in the past, so they're definitely leaning into the enchantments in this this set. It's at flash. Not many flash cards for green as well, so that's interesting. When Omen of the Hunt enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a basic land, put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. Sack Omen of the Hunt and you can scry. It's kind of got some ramp potential. If there's something to bounce this and keep playing it, it could be quite powerful, especially with Flash, because we can search for... we can search our libraries for land with this and put it onto the battlefield. So... yeah, pretty interesting. Oxybagonus. It's a 5 mana red creature. Ox creature. When Oxybagonus enters the battlefield, discard your hand and draw 3 cards. Not too bad, especially if you've only got 1 or 2 cards left in your hand. That's pretty good. The draw 3 is nice. Escape. Exile 8 other cards from your graveyard. Oxybagonus escapes with a 1/1 counter on it. It's not too bad. As soon as he dies, you can escape him. Or if he gets sent to the graveyard any other way, you can pay the escape cost, which is pretty good. It's a 5 mana card normally. You pay 2 to let him out again with a 1/1 counter. That's going to be very powerful. Very interesting stuff. Aroa's Blessing. Exborn Brute. A 7/3 for 5. Sting. Miss of Tomorrows. Enchantment Creature. I like how... I don't think these other cards have it. That's an enchantment creature. Okay, so this is an enchantment. Looks like standard card artwork. Nyxborn Brute, at least in MTGA, enchantment creatures have this cool little, like, animated border or edge around them. Which is very nice. It's a 5 flyer, 3/4 scry. Bad. Some really interesting cards here. Underworld Fires for 2, sorcery speed. Underworld Fires deals 1 damage to each creature and each planeswalker. If a permanent dealt damage this way would die, exile it instead. Okay. Each creature and each planeswalker. If it dealt damage to a player, that could work pretty well in like Chandra decks with like Cavalcade or Torbrands, like the whole weenie red decks that go off on Cavalcade and Chandra Spitfires and things. Like that could be pretty cool. Galia of the Endless Dance. A legendary creature with haste. For 2 mana. Not too bad in sort of like a... Other satyrs you control get +1/+1 and have haste. Whenever you attack with 3 or more creatures, you may discard a card at random. If you do, draw 2 cards. That is pretty great for 2 mana. That is pretty great. Nice Gruul card. Very cool. Shimmerwing Chimera. Enchantment creature. It's 4 mana, 3/2 with flying. At the beginning of your upkeep, return up to 1 other target enchantment you control to its owner's hand. Okay. Infuriate. Riptide Turtle. A 2 mana defender with 5 toughness. Not a bad 2-drop. Loathsome Chimera. Exile 3 other cards from your graveyard. Loathsome Chimera escapes with a 1/1 counter on it. The escape cost is kind of high. It's 5. Comes back in at 5/2 if you pay 5. You can exile 3 other cards from your graveyard. So there needs to be something else to sort of synergize with this, but it could open up some interesting possibilities, but on its own, probably not hugely powerful. Temple of Abandon. Temple of Abandon enters the battlefield tapped. When Temple of Abandon enters the battlefield, scry 1. That's not too bad. Not too bad. It's kind of like... So in green decks, we never really had scries, scry lands. We seem to be getting them now, which is pretty cool. Nyx Herald, at the beginning of combat on your turn, target enchanted creature or enchantment creature you control gets +1/+1 against trample until end of turn. It's not bad for 3 mana. A 2/3 for 3. It's pretty efficient use of mana. at the beginning of combat on your turn, so it's an effect that's always triggering every turn, which is pretty cool. Target enchanted creature or enchantment creature you control gets 1/1 against trample. So it's a trigger that while this lives every turn is always going off. Pretty strong in an enchantment creature deck. Enchantment or enchantment creatures. That's pretty cool. There's going to be plenty of enchantment cards that we can give just regular creatures anyway, so we're dealing with enchanted creatures or enchantment creatures, so yeah, an enchantment-based deck could be really fun with Nyx Herald. An enchantment creature. Oread of Mountains Blaze. Again, really nice artwork. Activate ability for 3 mana. 2 and a red. Discard a card, draw a card. Not bad for 2 mana. And then next turn you can just discard and draw. If you need it, you know. Memory Drain for 4, counter and scry. Okay. Kind of like a hinder, maybe. Burst for Meaning. Instant for 3 mana. Draw 3, then discard 2 cards unless you discard an enchantment card. Then discard 2 unless you discard an enchantment. So you can discard 1 if it's an enchantment. And you get to draw 3 for 3 mana. Not too bad. Eutropia, the Twice Favored. Constellation keyword, which is new in the set. The ability triggers when an enchantment enters the battlefield under your control. So anytime enchantments come in, we get to trigger whenever enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, put a 1/1 counter on target creature. That creature gains flying until end of turn. So again, enchantment and enchantment creatures, pretty strong. It could be an enchantment creature or an enchantment. Maya's Grasp. Haven't seen much black so far. Black's going to be interesting in this set. Black getting a lot of enchantments as well is going to be interesting. So, enchant creature, enchanted creature gets -3/-3. So it's kind of like a Disfigure or something like that. Disfigure was -2/-2, I think. Could be wrong there. Memory's not great. Maya's Grasp is a 3/3. There aren't any other criteria on that, so it's not a bad card for 2. Takes care of not super huge beasties, but I think Murder is 3, so yeah, not too bad for 2. Deny the Divine, and really nice artwork. The art in this set is next level. Counter target creature or enchantment spell. If that spell is countered this way, exile it instead of putting it into the owner's graveyard. Okay. 3, yeah, it's pretty standard stuff for counters. Hero of the Winds, a human soldier with flying. 1/4 for 4. Whenever you cast a spell that targets Hero of the Wings, creatures you control get +1/+0 until end of turn. Okay, it's gonna give more power to other creatures. Or all creatures will get +1. So a heavy spell deck could make use of those. Grey Merchant of Asphodel. It's a 2/4 zombie for 5, 3 and 2 black. When Grey Merchant of Asphodel enters the battlefield, each opponent loses X life, where X is your devotion to black. You gain life equal to the life lost this way. So devotion to black. There's devotion in the new set. If you have, so all of your devotion accumulates as you play cards onto the battlefield. All of those cards with colored mana costs, all those colored mana costs add up, and that equates to what your devotion to that color is. So, for example, this card contributes 2 black to your devotion. So if we have like 10 cards contributing 10 devotion on the battlefield, the opponent would lose 10 life, where X is your devotion to black, and you gain life equal to the life lost this way. So if the opponent loses 10 life, we gain 10 life. It's a very interesting card. You could just play, yeah, a lot of relatively cheap stuff, but yeah, you would want to be looking for heavy black or heavy colors for this devotion mechanic to really go off. So yeah, that's going to be really cool to see though. It's going to be really different. I think at this point we've just been waiting for something that's you know, going to be changing up the game quite a bit for a little while. I think Throne of Eldraine was generally a pretty fun set in my opinion. I know a lot of people didn't really like it so much, but I really did. I really liked the fairy tale aesthetic, what they were going for with the fairy tale theme, and yeah, I thought it was fun. But you know, by this point in the rotation, we're really just eager for that next set, and today's the day. We have a new card set now, so yeah, pretty exciting stuff. Omen of the Sun. Okay, so we have 3 mana. It's creating human soldier tokens. It's an enchantment card with flash. When Omen of the Sun enters the battlefield, create 2 1/1 white human soldier creature tokens. You gain 2 life. Sack Omen of the Sun, scry 2. Okay. Alright. Thassa's Invention. It's an instant. Look at the top X cards of your library, put up to 2 of them in your hand, and the rest at the bottom of your library in a random order. Counter target spell unless its controller pays twice. Pretty good. You get 2 different options depending on the game. Yeah, that's pretty strong. Up to 2 of them in your hand and the rest at the bottom of your library. It's nice how there's a variable there, and you can change how much mana you pump into this thing to have a look at more cards. So that's not bad. That's pretty good. Alright, so I've had a look at a few of the new cards. I think we're just going to open the packs by 10 and have a look at the rares and mythics that we get. And once we've gone through the cards, we'll start building some decks and play some games with Theros Beyond Death. Okay, so opened a pack of 10. See the rares and mythics we have. We have Idyllic Tutor. It's a sorcery for 3. Search your library for an enchantment. Reveal it, put it into your hand and shuffle. Pretty good. I mean, this new set's revolving heavily around enchantments, so stick a couple of them in. We can grab those enchantments out. Pretty strong stuff. Picked up a couple of Terranikas by the looks of it. Legendary creature, human soldier with vigilance. Whenever Terranica Acroan veteran attacks, untap another target creature you control until end of turn. That creature has base power and toughness 4/4 and gains indestructible. It's pretty nice. Some new temple cards. Temple of Deceit. We get to scry, usual sort of temple scry stuff. Nightmare Shepherd. Pretty cool. Thassa's Oracle. This is going to be really interesting for 2 mana. The 2 mana Merfolk Wizard. Thassa's Oracle enters the battlefield. Look at the top X cards of your library where X is your devotion to blue. High devotion blue deck could be interesting. Put up to 1 of them on top of your library. The rest on top of your library in a random order. X is greater than your... If X is greater than or equal to the number of cards in your library, you win the game. Okay, so you can put them in mill decks, I guess. X is greater than your... Greater than or equal to the number of cards in your library. Game. But X is the top cards. X is your devotion to blue. Yeah, so you'll need pretty high devotion to win 20 cards or less in the deck, but that's going to be pretty hard to build up to. So, yeah, on the surface it seems pretty good, but probably not hugely important, but still could be really interesting. If you can mill really quickly, it could be good. Enigmatic Incarnation. It's like a werewolf beastie guy flying through space with like nightmare arms coming out of some kind of galaxy. It's very cool. Simic enchantment. At the beginning of your end step, you may sack another enchantment. If you do, search your library for a creature card with converted mana cost equal to 1 plus the sacrifice enchantment's converted mana cost. Put that on the battlefield and shuffle your library. Not too bad. Actos the Unscarred. Nyx Lotus. This is the first Nyx Lotus. Add an amount of mana of that color equal to your devotion to that color. That's going to be huge in mono-colored decks. Nyx Lotus. Add an amount of mana of that color equal to the devotion to that color. Huge ramp card for sure Monocolored decks would want to be running Nyx Lotus. Hey, got another Nyx Lotus. Dream Trawler. Helioid's Intervention. Destroy X target artifacts or enchantments. Target player gains twice X life. That is pretty strong. Pretty strong card. I really like white. Like, white is like such an underrated color in Magic, I think. Lots of people hate it. Knights are like one of my favorite archetypes in Magic. Plenty of knights in white. I just like the heal, you know, the life gain mechanic. You know, I think it's just so much fun. But I like the angels and the, you know, it's just, I just think it's cool. Like, it gets so much hate, you know. Awesome artwork again. Scott, man. Another Nyx Lotus. Awesome. So picking up quite a few of these Nyx Lotuses, which is great. I want to build a deck around Nyx Lotus, I think. I want to do a mono-colored deck and just have fun. It's going to be jank to start, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. It's going to be really fun. Some more crazy spiders in this set. Alright. So that does it for Theros Beyond Death new packs. Let's go start building some decks.